Greetings, welcome back to Acadian Comics. I'm your host, James Fondren, and in this video we are doing Comics Haul. This is Comics Haul episode 28. So let's get right into it. So I didn't go on New Comics Day. I went today. Today's Friday, September 27th. So let's get right into it. Introducing Spider-Girl and Spider-Boy number 12. Great. I'm looking so much forward to that. All right, here we go. So we have issue 3 of 4 of Cyberpunk 2077. I have issues 1 and 2. And, you know, it's kind of just a race kind of gang sort of thing, you know, and, you know, the art's fine. It's got that cyberpunk aesthetic, as they say. So, you know, I like the panels. I like the layouts. I like this panel here. That's pretty cool. How they kind of offset it a little bit. Right. Yeah. This is very common in comics these days, folks. It's just the way it is. It almost looks like this was drawn by a different artist completely. You know, maybe you had multiple artists work on this book because the style changes. Let's see. No. Add backgrounds and retouch. There you go. There's your answer. So there's backgrounds and retouch on some of the stuff. So you see there's variation here. So anyway, you know, it's Cyberpunk 2077 Kickdown. Issue 3 of 4. All right, Wolverine Revenge. So I got issue number 1 and I got issue, hold on, I've got everything is just backwards. I don't know why it's backwards in the shop. I guess they didn't set it right in the shop. Hold on, I should have done this on the front end. I apologize. So don't worry, you know, yes, it's polybagged, but I have a copy right here. So what did I think of issue number 2 of the Greg Capullo, and we'll get to the next book in a minute. But what did I think of issue number 2 of the Greg Capullo Wolverine? I liked it. I like the story. I like where they're going with it. Like, it's a smart story actually, and the assets and tools and where they go with it is pretty cool. So if you haven't been watching, if you haven't been picking up this issue, I highly recommend that, or this run, Wolverine Revenge. If you haven't been reading it and you haven't read the first issue, I recommend maybe, you know, I'll probably do a separate talk about this, but or maybe a separate review altogether. But I enjoyed it, so check it out. Pick it up at your local store. It's Greg Capullo. The art is fantastic. Can't beat it. It's good. And now we got Rob Liefeld's Deadpool team up, issue number 2. Look how Rob is drawing Wolverine, you know, on this cover here. And it's just, I mean, there's some good stuff happening in the mainstream, guys. Like, it's not all doom and gloom, okay? Now, you know, again, you may be seeing on Twitter, like, Rob Liefeld saying, well, we're the young 20-something artists and everything. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. But, hey, we're glad to have you and, you know, drawing your art. And just look at this. Just Rob Liefeld all over. Nice. Yep. That's Deadpool team up, Rob Liefeld, issue number 2. And we got issue number 2 of Predator versus Black Panther. And, you know, I got the Avengers versus Aliens comic, and there's a whole, the whole thing starts off with, like, Black Panther and the Wakandans kind of finding the aliens and everything. So I'm sure this is going to tie in somehow. But obviously the focus with Black Panther is going to be the Predator. Yeah, so what? Okay, I don't want to spoil it, but that's issue number 2 of Predator versus Black Panther. The Killing Machine. I read the first one and I thought, man, let me give this independent comic a chance. And you know, I like science fiction. I like the ideas. This is chapter 2, issue 2 of The Killing Machine, book 1, The Hand of God. So, hey, I'm enjoying it. You know, it's got some heady, well, not heady concepts, but it's good. It's a good sci-fi book, you know. Like there's some cool things happening in this book, and I'm enjoying it. So it's the story not bad. I'm enjoying it. That's The Killing Machine, issue number 2. So I had to pick this up, and look, I'm not the biggest Spawn guy, but this is like, you know, Violator issue number 1, right? Violator issue number 1. How Violator became Violator, and that's kind of a cool story, you know. The end of the beginning. This is kind of cool. See, this is up in heaven and everything. Oh, this is badass, man. So obviously we know what happened with Satan and like the devil, and then like it's the whole fallen story, you know. Uh, uh-huh. Oh man, I can't wait to read this. This looks awesome. It's just the whole fall. It's the fall of God's favorite angel, you know, and then I guess Violator. And I like the art. Like I like the motifs. I like the, well, not the motifs, but I like the design elements of the angels and like their suit. And like, look, this angel's got a sword, you know, like cool. That is so cool. So who did this? Let's see. This is script and plot Mark Adrinko, art Poiter Kowalski. Cool. I'm gonna read it. I am gonna read Violator, definitely. So I had to go pick up this issue. I picked up issue number 1 of Blade Runner Tokyo Nexus, and I had to go into the back issues because I must have missed it one week, and maybe I have it, but I don't think I had this cover. And this is your typical. I mean, this is your like quintessential Blade Runner idea here, like with the eye, you know, and you got the flying cars and everything. So I think they call them sprinters. Yeah. Delve deeper into Blade Runner storyboards. Oh man, I might have to look at some of their art, but yeah, I mean it's a cool book. Like I like the first book, and issue number 1, it's kind of a detective murder story. So I wanted to like catch up. So I got issue number 2 of Blade Runner Tokyo Nexus, and then issue number 3 came out this week. So uh I'm in it. See, it's sort of a murder mystery type thing. So that's perfect for Blade Runner, right? Next book is actually Frankenstein. Here's another book I had to get in the back issue because I was kind of like, I got the creature from the black, Return to the Creature from the Black Lagoon, right? But I just wasn't into it. But I thought, you know what? I'm gonna start picking these up. I'm gonna start getting these Universal monster books, and maybe I'll go get the back issue of like Dracula and everything with Halloween coming up. But yeah, you know, Frankenstein, Universal Pictures, and Skybound. Yeah, I kind of like this actually. Some really nice establishing shots and secondary establishing shots. Guys, you don't know how hard it is to like create this, to create something. Like to make this one-page establishing shot is amazing. Like it's a great achievement. It's a nice thing that they did. One of the biggest problems I have as a new artist, or as a kind of a novice, is doing things like the intricate nature of this, like adding depth, creating the illusion of depth and volume in these things, and not having it look two-dimensional. That's a challenge. Like, and this is good. The art style, it may not be what everybody likes, but I like it. I like the panel layouts. Oh, that's great. It's got that classic feel to it. This is a great piece of art right here. Look at this. Wonderful. I don't want to spoil any more of this. This is Frankenstein issue number 1. And I picked up Frankenstein issue number 2. And I could have got the one with the Frankenstein's head on the cover and his brain exposed, but I kind of like this one. So, yeah, more established. You have establishing shots here, secondary. And here's the monster, right? This is great. Who doesn't want to get to draw Frankenstein? Like, who wouldn't want to draw that? Look at this. Oh, this is awesome. Look at this cop getting thrown out the window by the monster. Dead. Abnormal brain. Yep, so that's Frankenstein issue number 2. That's Universal Monsters. Frankenstein issue number 2. Okay, I need to skin. So, you may have saw my last video that I did of Clayton Barton's cover for the Punisher. I'm sorry, not the Punisher, for the Phantom. And I didn't pick up issue number 1 of Defenders of the Earth. So like Mad Cave is doing this whole great Flash Gordon thing. Like there's the Flash Gordon standalone books are great, and then there's another book. Look, the writer's Dan Dio, Jim Calafor. Look at that. So you're getting mainstream people in here. Mainstream. Dan DiDio from DC Comics, right? I think he might have he was at Marvel too, but I think he was mostly at DC. I could be wrong. I think it was just DC. I'm not sure. Have to double check that. But Jim Calafor is the artist, and hey, get to read some classic characters. Who doesn't like that, right? Who doesn't like that? Who doesn't want to see Flash Gordon? Who doesn't want to see the Phantom? So interesting. Mandrake the Magician, right? So that's issue number 1. And then I just saw this cover. I'm like, oh man, this is a great cover of the Phantom. And the Phantom just looks badass in general. Like everybody who gets to draw the Phantom, I will say this though. This hand, something's not right about this hand. This looks great here. Here. This head might be a little too big. This hand is too small. What do you guys think about that? Look at this cover. I looked at it. It looks good. Like this is beautiful here. This is all great, beautiful stuff. Then you get to here. I think this hand could be a little bit bigger. They could make it a little bit bigger. Because look, his arm is here, and then this is coming out here. I feel like the head could be a little bit smaller. This hand a little bit bigger. And this is what you start to notice when you're at the How to Draw Comics Academy. Little nuance like that. But look, hey, it's done. It's in the can. It's still a cool looking cover. I really like what they were going for. I'd like to be able to achieve something like this someday. I like how it's colored. It looks good. But I would just say there's some things about it, And this is... I think this is cover A. Is this cover A? Well, yeah, Jim Calafor. So, okay. Well, I just... Something about it. Like, it's hard. It's hard. When you're trying to push this foreshortening, you ask questions. And it's just your mind will play games with you when it comes to foreshortening. And look, this arm here is really well executed. It might have been better just to go with a closed fist on this one and keep it, because it doesn't look like this arm is further back than this arm. It looks like it's about the same. Looks like it's about this equal distance apart. And in terms of like where it is in the space, like forward. Okay, let me rephrase this. Okay, it looks like these two arms and these hands are in the same spot in the foreground where the subject is. The background is here with the Mandrake poster and the door and everything, and that's really just kind of your vanishing point's going straight. It's a 1-point perspective. It's going straight back in this direction. So it doesn't really matter. You could lay this on top. It could be that you're looking up at the Phantom. So if I feel like they could drop that in, and that's fine. It looks good. The details there. He drew this. He drew all these bricks and everything. I mean, you cannot take that away from him at all. I feel like two things. This head is a little big. 15-20% smaller. 15-20% smaller. And then if you're going to do this hand, you're going to do, because what you have is like the Scary Movie effect where grab my strong hand, like it's foreshortened right. It's just a little too small compared to this hand, and it's in the same space. So it's not easy, guys. Look, I'm not knocking the artist at all. It caught me. It caught me by surprise. So, but I still think it still sold me. I looked at this cover and I thought, oh yeah, you sold me on it. But I didn't. When I sit back and I take a closer look at this hand, that hand's a little small. You know. But okay. Hey, look, I'm not perfect either. I have art screw ups all the time. So, but I still think it's really cool looking. I like the face. I like what he did. I just think the head's a little too big. That left hand's a little too small. If he could have matched it and synced it with this would have been great. It would have been perfect. It's good nonetheless, but it would have been perfect. And then Turtles of Grayskull, this crossover, I had to get it. Like, I had to, like, get it. You know, like, oh, man. I'm not a big Turtles guy in terms of comics. Growing up, yep. You know, I was a turtle for Halloween. I watched the TV show. But, you know, I'm not a big turtle. But when you marry these two things, the Turtles, okay, and then you take the Turtles and you put them in Castle Grayskull, and now what? There's gonna be He-Man's gonna be in the picture here. Is that what we're looking at? Is He-Man gonna be in this comic? Yes. Look, he shows up at the very end, so you buy the next issue. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Turtles of Grayskull, issue number 1, Dark Horse Comics. So here's another book. Let me take it out of the bagging board. So I got the first issue of Ram God, and I like the art. All right. And then I'm like, well, I'm here. I might as well get issue 2. I believe this is cover B. This is cover A on this one. This is cover B. But yeah, it's got that look to it. Let's see, who do we have in here? Henry Presetta. Okay. I'm sorry if I'm messing up your name, Henry, the artist. Yeah, yeah. Not bad, you know. Independent comic. I like the colors. I like the blues in here. Yeah, it's just got to be warmed up. You got to see I like the hue here. You're seeing the fire and the warmth in this. The coloring's good. So yeah, whoops. Okay, so that's Ram God issue 2, and it's Ram God issue 3. It's like an MMA type, future MMA type thing. Kind of like Inglorious Rex by Shane Davis, except they're not Rexes, which I think that's a cooler concept. But I don't know. I got to catch up. I got a lot of reading to do. So that's it for this episode of Comics Haul. This is episode 28 of Comics Haul. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel, and we will catch you right here next time at Acadian Comics. Definitely going to check out this Violator book, by the way. It's hefty. I mean, look, it's got to be over 40 pages easily. I'm going to read it. I just looks good. I like the art. I like it. I like this. So we're going to read Violator. But anyway, I'll catch you right here next time at Acadian Comics.